everyone, and welcome back to our Axumite campaign. Things are not looking well at all for Eon Bisi Anaaph. We put him in a duelist to fend off a Persian fleet, which has fled to Berenice. We can see here that the Sultan Bahram, would it be Sultan? It must. Bahram. Anyway, he's in Berenice now. He's probably going to hitch a ride. And he might go sightseeing along the coast of the Red Sea here. He's going to check out these cliffs. As you can see, there's tons of water just kind of splashing off them. It's really nice. And of course, there's all sorts of gem mines and stuff that he's very interested in. He's kind of doing like that rock hound thing. You know, you go to these mines and you find a stone and you get it appraised and they cut it for you and basically they rip you off. That's what he does because he's actually quite interested in geology, I would think. Is there a separate study for gemstones? I don't know. I can't say. But anyway, we have one stack to the west here, the Fury of Verithregna. 16 units, but it looks like they're kind of beat up. What's this guy's name? Yazdegerd. He's got a kind of a ramshackle army here. I would imagine that they are damaged from the capturing of Pacorus. It's really unfortunate that we started this campaign right before well, I say right before, but a couple weeks before the expansion came out. That is Age of Charlemagne, because for those of you that are not aware, they added in another Hunnic horde in the east, another faction entirely called the White Huns, and it seems as if it might draw some fire away from, say, the Eastern Roman Empire or the Arabian states, such as myself in the south, because the Sasanian Persians, they're pretty much unopposed in the east. But maybe those Huns will help when you start a campaign with the new DLC, but I can't say. Right now we're getting schooled pretty hard, though, because Persia all of a sudden took a dislike to us, and they've sent 3 full stacks. Like, are the Eastern Romans not putting up a fight in Egypt at all? Like, it looks like they got their ass handed to them, essentially. Basically, the Persians have 3 stacks to spare, and they sent, like, their heir and their leader here, so it seems that they're not really focused elsewhere at this current juncture. But anyway, at least it looks to me that we'll survive for maybe another turn or so. Khosrau, the heir, is 2 turns away, rather, from a duelist. It looks as if Yazdegerd is 1 turn away from a duelist, 2 turns away from Aksum, so depending on what these guys do, Bisi Anaaph can react very easily. My greatest fear is that all 3 of these stacks will just gangbang us at one time. That would be horrible, but ultimately unavoidable. Anyway, we'll move on here. We've now got a hunting lodge in Aksum, which has given us some furs and some additional food and wealth. Unfortunately, our income is not looking so hot right now due to all of our recruitment. We have built a new levy encampment in a duelist, meaning that we can now get desert tribesmen, which are a little bit cheaper than a far swordsman, and they're a little bit crappier as well. That is to be expected. I believe that those raiders is actually... What am I doing here? The raiders are the only unit unlocked by that levy camp. Yeah. Unfortunately. The next step would be to unlock the levy center. But in order to do that, we would need to research desert military craft. Which is going to cost way too much gold. Instead, what we can do is research regimentation of equipment, which would give us ammunition, carpentry, and elite Tor warriors. I don't really think that is of concern right now, although experience for levies, that would be pretty good as well. I wonder almost if we should do an economic development, rather, or a civic development, I should say, in the meantime, as we wait for some cash to do these more important technologies. Zodiac Calendar would be probably pretty good right now. Get some melee defense when fighting Zoroastrian factions, although we did get some from researching Synaxarium. That would be great. It would reduce upkeep as well. Desert military craft would obviously help. We could upgrade our camel warriors. We would unlock all sorts of military buildings. Unfortunately, it's going to cost a ton of cash we don't have right now, so I think we'll just do battle drills instead. Perhaps the experience for our levy units might end up aiding us. So I think we'll keep Eon Bisi in Adulis right now. We'll recruit 2 sword units. That's going to send us into the red next turn. What I'm hoping, though, is we can use Anbasa, sorry. Abana is my son, of course. We've got Ibana and Nazul, both with bastard children. Actually, you know what we need to do? We need to get Anbasa an office, like Casterland. That would be good. Although Latem could do with an office as well. Obviously, Detanis is a bit of a shit pile, which is why we kicked him the fuck out of office. We may as well kick him out of the Castellan slot as well. Let's see, who do we have as governor again? That's right, Abana and Nazul are 2 sons. So I think it's only fitting that we just kick Detanis out of that slot altogether. I can't quite recall why we've iced Detanis. Like, why did we freeze him out? I think he wronged Eon Bisi Anaaph in some way. Perhaps he shared the information about his lurid activities during the night with his wife, and that really pissed off Eon Bisi Anaaph. I would imagine so. I'll be quite pissed if someone told my wife that I was doing the things that I'm doing. That is, like, I don't know, whipping slaves and shit for my own sick pleasure. Although, I mean, that's not really something I do in my own time. No, slaves are far too expensive. It's like, you really have to be like a Bill Gates to afford slaves, I tell you that. You gotta ship them in from, like, Russia and shit like that. So, as I was saying, moving on, I'm gonna try to annihilate the Bronze Warriors led by Mazun, and then I can disband a few units, perhaps, to save on cash, and then I can send it back to Ethiopia, the cash that is. In addition, if I annihilate this army, I might be able to send the troops themselves, and we can pretty much all but abandon Zafar to save the homeland. Speaking of Zafar, though, did you notice these roads? They're looking pretty sick. We had a nice chain gang come along, and they pickaxed and hammered the fuck out of the side of the road, so now it's nice and smooth, and we even kind of paved it. It looks like we drew it on with chalk, almost. But that extends all the way into, I believe this would be Omana, yeah, and then it heads north along the Sinus Persicus, Persian Sea, not sure. Okay, so I'm trying to move Gumshoe north so he can kind of act as like a spy, because we currently don't have the ability to recruit spies. We do, actually, but we don't have the cash. We have the buildings finally, we just do not have the funds. And we will not have the funds for quite some time. I would imagine we don't need to repair the waterworks right away. Instead, what we need to do is find a way to improve our income. And there's not many ways to do it, unfortunately. We could disband some ships, although I have a makeshift fleet to defend as perhaps against the children of the Argonauts. But it's going to be a... we're going to lose that fight, most definitely. But anyway, I think we don't have much else to do this turn, except look at our units recruited. We had 2 light boatmen on Dromenarian galleys. Some desert spears in Adulis, obviously. 5 of them. Holy moly, that's a lot of men. Household gained. Ibana is now an ivory trader, or he has gained the retainer. Let's take a look at his slots here. Okay, so he's got a chief eunuch, or he can get an ivory trader. Not really worthwhile. Weighted practice shield, rather. Will reduce military cost. Construction costs for military buildings, more specifically. That would be the proper way to say that shit. Always stumbling. Stumbling as if I was Kaiser Soze. Okay, so it will also increase research rate for military developments. Not really anything to worry about. Mbasa has gained a wooden sword, which I'm sure he has equipped that already. Although, having said that, there are some more important items he could be wielding. Let's see. Enemy morale, -10. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. So we have researched certificates and seals as well. That will help us in the long run. Nazul has gained rank. So let's see if we can take a look at this asshole. Nazul, there you are, my friend, my son. Nazul, my son. He's going to equip the weighted practice shield already, apparently. Let's try to find something else here. It seems to me that might actually be the... we'll go stuffed enemy because it will assist in fending off enemy armies. Maybe an artist would be a great choice, actually. That will increase public order in Arabia. And then these, not really necessary, I wouldn't say. So the first thing we want to do probably is increase his authority, as that is currently reducing public order. So we'll increase authority so that he has a neutral effect on the province. And then we can do, I would say, Viceroy again. Increase his cunning, which will reduce maintenance costs and reduce upkeep costs, all that shit. Not really important as he is a governor. The maintenance cost, though, is probably the biggest boon here. But at least we have increased public order by a couple points this turn, actually. Look at this. Okay, so we're only 12 points away from a neutral effect. How long do we have until rebellion? Quite a while, actually. 8 turns. Yeah, I think we can easily deal with public order issues in 8 turns. What we may have to do, actually, is... Why are my taxes so low? Why would the... Why would I do that? Probably because the public order in Arabia Felix is so abysmal. That's probably why I did that. I can't tell you... Tell me why he passed. Inco, why did you do that? I can't. There's no reasonable reason for me to have done that. But I think we are finally at the closing of this turn. I'm hoping that the Persians will make their moves apparent, and then we can kind of react as best we can. Likewise with Mazun. I hope they try to attack Zafar, and then we can defend the walls very easily with all of our towers, etc. Causing some grievous casualties, and then they would probably have to retreat. And if possible, whatever's left of the Mazun fleet can... we can easily match them with the garrison, perhaps, unless they circumnavigate the city, which would be an issue. Okay, the Sassanid Persians have marched on Adulis, it seems, so we'll have to defend. They put... What in the fuck? Oh, he's got reinforcements. So, the heir of the Sasanian Persian Empire had enough movement to get into reinforcement range. So it looks as if this is going to be the last stand of Eon Bisi Anaaph, unfortunately. We have 2,000 men, roughly, versus 3,000, I would say. Luckily for us, a lot of their cavalry is damaged, a lot of their infantry is damaged. The second army, however, is perfectly fine. So what I'm really hoping is that we can use our archer towers as a great boon, so maybe we can cause a lot of casualties. I think this is going to be a really tough battle. We have some navies at our disposal, rather. I mean, I don't want to say they're disposable, but ultimately, at this point, it's like it's down to the survival of our kingdom. I think it's not too much to ask that some people die in the meantime. What I was going to say is we have some navies, some ships at our disposal, and I don't think that's going to be a big factor in this battle, unfortunately. If perhaps another army was reinforcing by sea, that would be great. I mean, we can flank the enemy. Oh, we do have an artillery ship, though. That is going to be quite interesting. If we can, like, bottle the enemy up. Yeah, let's take a look at that. Okay, well, they're not on the field as of yet, but they will be at some point. So what we can do, I think, is just keep our ships off the coast for now, and then we can kind of act as like a quick response force, hopefully. Okay, so we have one barricade remaining. I think we want to funnel... If possible, we need to split this army up. I would imagine this would be a way to do it. Then we can force them to either come through here or through here, and then they will reconverge somewhere in front of this wall. Of course, they'll come flanking around. What we need to do, though, the best thing to do is grab our desert spears. We want to set up some spear walls right under our archer towers. That way, the Persians are forced to withstand lots of heavy archer... Well, I shouldn't say archer fire, but heavy arrow fire, whilst they smash against our shield wall. That would be great. I think what I'll do, though, is I'll have... No, 2 units ought to do just fine. Levy units. As I said, their cavalry is quite weak, and their cataphracts as well, which is crazy. They do have quite a bit of missile units, actually. Quite a bit of missile infantry. The rest of their army is basically levy. So, at the very least, we can handle the first army. As for the second army, I think we need to keep... That's a good point, actually. We'll probably want to keep some of these units in reserve, just in case. Like, we'll keep these guys as, like, a secondary response team. These guys as well will probably block off right here. That would be wonderful. I hope you don't mind. I'm actually going to deploy on camera for once. I just kind of stumbled into it. At the very least, we can get a better idea as to my thought processes here. Unfortunately, this tower here is kind of useless because it's right on the coast. At the very least, we'll put a unit of spears there just to counteract. I think we'll keep our cav in the wings here so they can, well, act as an even quicker response team. Our hurlers and archers are going to be pretty useless, I would think. At the very least, we can put some hurlers perhaps here. We'll keep them from firing for now. And then our archers will stay in the middle. Eon Bisi Anaaph, he's mounted? Oh no, he is... Oh shit, he's been relegated to some Razguard. So he'll defend the center of the town if possible. Where's our son? Would he not reinforce us here? I don't know. Okay, well, we forgot to deploy a unit of spears, so we'll just put them over here, I guess. In addition, our Afar swordsmen are going to head to the center. Our reinforcements have arrived via the sea. We don't want them firing right away, but look at this. The enemy army is now coming from the opposite direction. So we are going to be split, most definitely. So we'll have to deploy... I would say these men will deploy here. These guys will deploy under the archer tower. Wonderful. We've still got 2 units on standby. Maybe we can harass these guys a bit. What kind of navy do we have? We have a lot of... Well, we have very little... There's no missile units. The only missile unit we have is our artillery. And I kind of want to hold on to that for when, say... the enemy bunches up. But we have Latem here regardless, and a unit of hurlers, which are going to be a little bit useless. We'll speed it up a little bit just to make this easy on us. In the meantime, actually, what we'll want to do is... We don't want to steady, actually. I thought these guys would have a shield wall, but it doesn't seem to be the case. Maybe we'll bring some Afar swordsmen up, because I do actually have a lot of spears, which are quite useless against my swordsmen, I would imagine. Okay, so now the enemy is approaching. They're receiving archer fire already. There was a reduction rather in the firing rate of archer towers when attacking, so I hope that's not going to be a huge factor, but it very well could be. Alright, it appears that the enemy cavalry is coming in force, so we're gonna have to brace pretty hard. These spears, I would imagine... Oh, shit, yeah, they're pushing hard on that flank. We're gonna have to move real quick. There are spears advancing towards our cavalry. We'll want to try to keep them out of combat. We're probably going to have to land all of our swords. I don't want to land all of our swordsmen right now because they can very easily land behind all of these melee units, which would be great, all the spears, etc. Speaking of, our own spears have been engaged by the enemy and we're taking a lot of casualties right off the bat, unfortunately for us. Our far swordsman might not be enough to counter those spears. I'll send Eon himself, perhaps. It looks to me like we've lost our tower already. There it goes, which is quite unfortunate because that would have caused quite a bit of casualties, actually. So, our far swordsmen are going to charge headlong into these Pygan band. I just don't want them to get taken out by the Cav, but I don't think the Cav is going to arrive in time. Having said that, though, they're now charging. Speaking of charging, the Cav on the opposite side of the field here, not doing much. I just got to be wary of the enemy archers, so I'm going to move my ships a little further out, actually. Speaking of, we'll move my my hurlers in. Perhaps they can be of assistance. Our Razguard desperately need to get involved. There go my far swordsmen. They've charged these Pygan band. We are losing the tower already. But we want Eon to take care of those troops. Man, our Desert Spears here are really holding well now that they've been reinforced by some Afar swordsmen. Not much else is going on, it seems. We're receiving fire from some missile cav. What is this now? What the fuck was that? You guys see that? It was like splashing. It looked like someone was firing at our ships. Okay, we are breaking the enemy on the flank here. Once we deal with... Oh shit, this is going quite well, actually. Once we deal with all of these units here, we'll send our cav on the flank, deal with those missile units. We might not be doing too bad here, actually. Our Desert Spears are absorbing all of this archer fire, which is lovely. They've taken very few casualties. We can switch out this frontline unit very easily with our backup. What's going on here? We've broken some of these cataphracts, and now our far swordsmen are dealing with these levy. Great. Our archers are actually firing into our rear here. I didn't realize. That's probably why we're losing so many swordsmen. Damn. Okay, well, we're still not doing too bad. It looks like we've lost a unit of Desert Levy already, though, unfortunately, but there's not much we can do. These guys are just kind of faffing around. They are being pretty ineffective this battle. And look at that. They've already lost like 400 men, although we are losing quite a few of our own. Okay, so our... Oh, shit. We've managed to break the majority of the enemy. So we're actually going to move our line further back. That way we can force the enemy to have to come into town where we've got our hurlers there. So we'll move our line like way the fuck back here. Here we go. Now we're talking. Once Eon and his troops defeat the infantry here, as I said, we'll move in with the cav. So now we're drawing in the missile infantry. These guys are ready to fire at will at anyone who comes near. Not a lot going on this flank, unfortunately. The enemy is still fucking around. I really hope Eon survives. He is critical to this battle, I would say. If he falls, then some of our troops would most definitely rout. We're now drawing in some archers, and our hurlers are letting loose. Here we go. These Persian bows are sucking up the fire pretty easily, though. It's their little shields that protect, like, their hands and nothing else. Okay, but it looks like we've had some success on the flank, so we'll charge out now with our cav. We've got some skirmishers here. We don't want them throwing their javelins right away. Rather, we want them to perhaps charge right into the enemy. Our swordsmen have engaged again. We're losing a lot of as far as swordsmen this battle. Our hurlers have done a lot of damage here. Holy moly. Half a unit gone. We've charged our calves straight into these spears because they've reformed, unfortunately. Eon's gonna advance to just kind of deal with that a little bit. Okay, ooh, shitballs. What's going on this flank? Okay, so we've got one unit of spears, and I want to Adjust a bit. There we go. It looks like we've got a unit of Desert Spears bracing for... Nope. They've fled. We want them definitely to move up a little bit, though. Because we're actually kind of sticking out of the capture point. But we don't want them out too much, because they may just get flanked. But I think we're forced to advance a little bit like that, just to hold on to the tower as long as possible. But here we go. Here come the cataphracts trying to charge into the flank of these spears, and they've just done a terrible job of it. They kind of engage alongside our spears, though, so you got to give them that. Overall, though, poor showing by the heir of Persia. He's decided to wait instead of engaging our forces right away, which has cost him a lot of troops, because we've just separated his army, and now we can pick them apart piece by piece. We have... I think what we want to do is set up some hurlers here just in case they break through, because they will inevitably break through. We want our archers likewise probably on the walls to defend, something like that. Our one unit of hurlers has already used all of their ammunition, cutting down these bowmen. Speaking of, here go our skirmishers. They've charged in. Quite a charge, damn. And they're not doing too bad. Our raiders on the other side of the field themselves are not doing too bad. Eon is going to reinforce the flank because, oh shit, we've actually broken. Oh my word, look at that. 109 men are running away because the general fled recently. As in the allied general we sent packing in the, what is this, the west, I would imagine? Sure. Here we go. Nope, it is the south. We've sent him packing in the south. But we'll get Eon to come to the center. Perhaps he can be useful there. Our 4 swordsmen are going to hide behind the center of town. Whatever spears we have left, going to reinforce as well. Here we go. Maybe we can do another choke point here. That would be great. Oh, shit, yeah. We're fucking... Now we're talking. Our cav is running off the remainder of the first army. The balance of power is climbing ever in our favor. What are we at? 2,000 enemy. Oh, the fucking odds are nearly evened up. And guess what? Here comes Latem. Bringing the thunder. Come on, Latem. Land right behind these assholes and show them the meaning of pain. Okay, we're also going to get our artillery to fire right at this big grouping of men here. We've only got... Okay, we don't want to fire to the rear of our men. We're not that cruel. We are just going to fire artillery at them. We're not going to fire arrows into their rear. No, that would be too much. We want to cut down all of those bows. And we are actually holding quite well. Holy shit. Our towers, rather, are doing quite well. Our Tor warriors doing quite well. And it looks like the... Wow. Wow, wow, wee, wow. It looks like the mass of the enemy is beginning to rout. Holy shit. Okay, we'll actually fire... something... We want to fire into the routing path of these enemies here. So we'll fire at those bow cavalry to begin with. That would be great. Oh, wow, this is going far better than I could have ever hoped. Oh, shit. I'm very impressed with how well this is going. It's all I've got to say. It's going so well. And look, Latem is doing like a Corsairs of Umbar situation. Well, more like Aragorn, the Battle of Pelennor Fields. He lands and it's immediately attacking the enemy. Although the mercenary bow cav here is going to be a bit of an issue, I think. We're taking quite a few losses in our levies as well. Too bad. Too bad, so sad. Okay, we've got some skirmishers here that we're going to send to harass some cav. We want them to skirmish. Yeah, I almost thought that was dismount, but no, we're good. Okay, so Latem has landed, and he's going to charge headlong into these bow cav, supported by the remainder of his men. Look at these. These marines are disembarking, and they're immediately charging these enemies, and they're throwing their darts, and they've been charged by cav. It was actually a pretty good charge by them, to be fair. But at the very least, we can round up all of these cavalrymen, and we're actually armed with spears, so we're doing pretty good for when the cav decides to flee. Not too bad at all. Actually, let's cut down these bowmen. I really want Latem to survive, because if Latem falls, that could be a chain route situation. Speaking of chain route situation, we want Eon to support That would be great. We're going to skirmish with those cataphracts, hopefully tire them out as we throw jabs at them. Cut them down. Can we throw some jabs and flee? What are we doing here? Yeah, okay, there we go. We've got a couple jabs off. No damage as of yet, but it's coming. There will be damage. We're going to support our spears in the front as well, and look at that. Latem has landed, and he's taken the beachhead. We just got to chase off the majority of these archers. Holy shit, it's going well. You know what we're going to do? We're going to parse out our units and do something like that. Okay, our men are running, unfortunately. So we're actually going to have to hold that spot. So these two guys are going to chase off those men. These guys are going to come here. Latem is going to stick with these three. Okay, that's fine. Looks like our melee cav has been charged because I totally forgot about them, so they're going to get fucked by those cataphracts, unfortunately. We've charged into the rear with our missile cav, but it's probably not going to be enough. Unfortunately not. Oh shit. Okay, Eon, you need to move, buddy. Everyone needs to hurry. Unfortunately, our spears are getting schooled by these missile units, but we have no option but to just keep running them down. Yeah, our cav mismanaged on my part there a little bit, and we've lost them. But we're sandwiching a bunch of enemies here. We're holding here still. The tower is still up and running. We have some missile units to fall back on. Some Afar swordsmen as well. These guys are going to try to hold here. That would be great. Okay, our skirmisher cav is not doing too bad against these cataphracts, in actual fact. Looks like, what is this? Persian mounted bowmen. They've charged into the rear of one of our marine units, and now these marine units have no choice but to just receive huge amounts of fire from those units we're trying to chase off. The cav would have been very helpful here, but unfortunately, as I've said, we've accidentally had them demolished by the enemy, but we've in turn just demolished some of them. What do we have? 1,000 men. 1,200 men versus 1,100. Oh, we're just... Oh, it's horrendous. I've led Latem into a huge... I've led him poorly, essentially, and I think he's been captured or he's fallen. One of the two, unfortunately for myself. Oh shit, our melee cav has reformed. Perhaps we can do some damage on these bows. I think our skirmishers are a good match for these cataphracts, actually, if we just keep them engaged. And then the remainder of our infantry can just roll over whatever's left. For example, we want Eon to reform. That would be a joy, because some cataphracts are coming up very slowly, almost as if they didn't mean to charge at us. Look at that, they've broken. Now we want our artillery to fire at whatever remains of their bowmen, although they have some Persian mounted bowmen, which is going to be an issue. They're going to throw some arrows at our desert cav. They have done, and they're tearing them apart. So we're going to try to tear them apart in kind. We'll get some desert spears to support. Our hurlers can hold the line. They'll hold the line. Bow, 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 bow. Melee cav is never on time. Guys like my out-of-tune singing. It's very, very stylized, isn't it? You can tell that I'm totally doing that on purpose. Okay, so the only thing we can do is try to chase... Oh, shit. These spears have reformed just in time for my spears have fled, but that's just fine. Oh! Eon Bisi has been engaged yet again. Although we can send what's left of these 3 units to flank those spears whilst Eon deals with these mounted bows. I was going to say, the only thing we can do with our melee cav is chase off the remainder of their mounted bows. And we'll probably just keep our skirmishers in the wings right now. They're at 50% men. They've only got 30 men, which is going to be... Oh, well, perfect example here. We can charge these hurlers and reinforce the line here with our spears. We just don't want our skirmisher cav to receive too many losses. We need to hold on to them. Okay, Eon Bisi is going to hold the line here whilst these men rush to surround and punish those guys for forever facing off with the Axumites. It looks like what I said was going to happen is happening. The missile units are just totally fucking over our skirmishers. Unfortunately, and there's not much we can do about it other than outride them. I think we've lost that unit, however. We're going to charge into the rear of these levy, trying to get them to break. Our men are very tired, though, whereas these levy are eager to be of service. Okay, well, now's a perfect opportunity to open fire. These guys will turn to meet our units, and then here come the arrows. There's many more of them than there are of us. Will we ever recover? Hard to say. Eon Bisi is really the only unit we have left that's in any capacity to fight, and these missile units are just punishing us so hard. Unfortunately, it's no way to fight a battle, unfortunately. It's just, I don't know, there's no words for it. They just keep skirting our men, but we are throwing arrows down on these levies, and our very own Marines are receiving fire on their flank. It's nuts. Okay, who's rallied? Who is it? Some spears. Okay, well, chase off these missile units if you could, please. Just chase them off. That's all I ask. Do your best. Oh, okay, we've chased off some... Oh, my word. Okay, we've chased off some spears, and now we can draw the enemy into the courtyard. Oh, there we go. We've won. Holy shit. We've managed to survive this battle. Yeah, it's definitely a Pyrrhic victory. We've fought off 2 stacks of Persians, and there's a third en route, led by none other than Bahram himself. Bahram, which is short, of course, for Abraham. We just call him Brother Bram. It's great. The king of the Sassanid Persians himself, the Sultan, is going to be knocking on our door next. And I gotta say, I'm a little concerned. Although we can recruit 5 units of Desert Spears in a turn, so we can easily replenish what we've lost this battle, as long as we have the coin. I don't think we do. In addition, the garrison is not going to be able to recover in time. But I'm pleased with that. It could have gone a lot worse, and I'm glad it didn't. Although now we'll have to see what the damage is. Latem is still alive. We've lost a ship, and the garrison is just totally boned. Totally boned, but at least we can replenish some of our units by 9%. We did not manage to kill either of the generals, but the first army is just completely... it's annihilated. The second is very nearly as well. We didn't have any units to run down the missile units, so they've managed to escape. But we'll take on warriors, and maybe, just maybe, Eon Bisi Anaaph will be able to survive the Persian onslaught. Holy shit, look at this. The Eastern Roman Empire, led by Flavius Rufinus, has offered us a defensive alliance, and they've also offered 1,000 gold. Here's the reason why the Eastern Roman Empire has just totally been shit-kicked all over Egypt. Look how many factions they're at war with. The Huns, the Tanukids, the Lakhmids, the Gepids. Pretty much everyone in Arabia, and actually the Abdanians as well, the Picts, so all of Britain, the Ostrogoths, the Visigoths probably, the Vandals, Caledonians, like everyone is at war with the Eastern Roman Empire. I can understand why they're having a hard time of it, but they have managed to pay us 1,000 coins. I wonder if maybe we could tune that up to like 1250. Would they be down for that? They have... oh shit, yes. Okay, that money is gonna go directly into Eon's pocket. No, not like in a corrupt way. He's gonna use that army, obviously, to replenish and retrain his spearmen, his spear levies, because we desperately need we need men to batter back Bahram Obama, I believe is his name. Okay, well, Mazun is now marching on Zafar. As I'd hoped, we can beat them back, destroy their army. We possibly don't even need to reinforce Ethiopia. What we need to do is... oh, fuck. We need to find a way to increase our income a lot. But we'll do... what we will do, I think, is just leave it here. I'll come back and we'll go through all of this next episode. for now, I would like to say thank you everyone for watching. I'm going to keep this series going until we get defeated, or perhaps we reach a point where we get out of. If we continue to survive against the Sassanids, then I don't know. I have no idea how long the series will go on, but I want to make space for other series because Charlemagne has just been released. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run Charlemagne and Axum alongside each other on Mondays, and then eventually Axum will just kind of disappear into the ether, and then Charlemagne will fill the Monday slot. So that's the plan. But anyway, thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. I'm very impressed that we held on to a duelist, and we might actually manage to get out of this. But until then, please leave a like, please leave a comment, and also check out all my social media. Go and follow me on Twitter and my tweets, and also face all over my book, and check out my Google Plus and all that shit. That would be great. So anyway, I'll see you guys with the next episode of our Axumite campaign.